everybody, it's tequila time. So, this is a little bit different other than my last video. It is about tequila hunting and being, have some perseverance in doing it. I go tequila hunting, go looking for tequila. Sometimes I have a bottle in mind. Sometimes I don't. I'm looking for something I don't own. And since I have quite a few, it gets a little more difficult as your collection and selection gets bigger. Sometimes there's certain bottles that you find or hear about, and you try them and go, oh, diamond in the rough, or just obscure little bottles that belong to distilleries that you just kind of go about. One of those bottles is the Tres Generones from Sauza. It's called Cenobio's batch. I don't have a bottle here. I'm on the fence about getting another one, other than they're getting really harder to find. That bottle is not made by Sauza. It's actually made by Cascaween. Because it's Horno cooked, Tohono ground, copper pot still, all that stuff. Wooden vats, fermentation. Sauza doesn't own any of that anymore. Haven't for a long time. So they quietly contracted somebody else to make their stuff. So if you ever get a chance to try it, if you find it, it's Cenobio's batch. It's a clear glass bottle. It has green leather strapping around the neck. I've done a video, I believe, on this. And then it has a glass topper. All the rest of the Tres Generones have wooden toppers. That's what makes it distinctive, that it's not, it's not the regular Blanco. And it is at 100 proof. What it reminds me of, and there's reasons why, I can't grab it, it's too far away, is Cascaween Tohono Blanco, but at 100 proof. That's what it reminds me of. So anyway, yesterday, after having a couple drinks with my sister and then heading back home, I said, I'm going to stop at a Total Wine that's in Lee Summit here in Missouri. And I had a bottle. I knew that they had, quote unquote, on inventory. Excuse me. And I was kind of wanting to get it because it's kind of a unique bottle. And it is the Siempre Supremo. And this is made at the old distillery at 1137, which they are now at 1414. I posted this on Facebook this morning, and Sergio says, give me a little more time, about a month, and then they are going to be doing the Supremo. But this is really wonderful juice in this bottle. So this is what I went in for. So I go in, I'm looking around, like I always do, and I found my bottle, and I turn around. This is what perseverance. Just be observant to what's around you. I found a really nice bottle of Tequila Ocho Reposado single barrel. Something new. But I saw something else before I saw that. And at Total Wine, especially in Missouri and in Kansas, if you see this on the shelf, you think you're looking at the Easter Bunny. Because there's the Easter Bunny's ears. These were sitting on the shelf, not behind the glass, on the shelf at Total Wine, at what I'm going to say now is probably regular MSRP. You want to know what in regular MSRP? This one, $67, $77. Now, if you're searching around in the old interwebs and Facebooks and you find out that's not what they're selling for on there, that's not about what they're selling for out in California, if you can find them on a shelf. But I was like, I can't pass that up. Do I need them? No. I have both of those bottles and maybe a couple of the Reposados. I have one other Blanco. I've got a lot of still strength in 2 bottles of añejo. No, but when you come across it, you just buy it, and hopefully you don't spend too much money. Well, I didn't. I mean, and I almost bought that bottle of Ocho Repo single barrel. Almost. I talked myself out. I already spent too much right there because I wasn't even planning on buying a bottle this month. I was going to try to wait till August. But you just have to keep looking. You have to keep looking. You need to know where to go look. So don't just go. I've done the willy-nilly tequila hunts. They're not very successful. I try to do as much. How do I want to say that? I do a little detective work. I try to kind of know what, if they have a website, and I mean a website, not a Facebook page, not they have a website that just tells you where they are and that they carry tequila and bourbon and whiskey and vodka. No, that actually has an inventory that is what they have in stock. I've found some really nice gems lately in Dick's Liquor and, what's the other one? Justin's of Lenexa, Justin's Liquor. Those two have produced some nice bottles, and the Zumador from Justin's was great. That was a great find. Thank you, Will, for heading me off that direction. Like I said, and the brown bag in Olathe and MDL out that way. I have found a few bottles here and there, but and then of course my local liquor store at Liquor King in Harrisonville, he's got a really, really nice selection. The problem is, I own most of those bottles. I know where to go get them when I run out, and I don't have to go very far. But just find your local liquor stores, go on, and search them out on, Google and see what they got. Certain ones, let's say like one of my favorites here is Bubbles of Parkville. His inventory may not be complete online, but he's got a great selection and it's almost all there. He's going to have limited bottles that are not going to be on the inventory, but his regular inventory, which is massive, is on there. And so when you're looking for something a little different, it's a great place to go look. Total Wine has that same setup. But, like I said, the bottles that I look for, Total Wine has this much compared to all the rest of their junk. So when I find what I want, I'm going to, I plan on buying more of the Siempre, getting the Reposado and Añejo and probably the regular Blanco. So I have the complete set because I have the Añejo single barrel, but it's not here. I took it to the lake, and it's at the lake house. It'll come back soon. But I want to get complete sets of some of my more favorite tequilas. And I'm doing good on Fortaleza. Most cases I'm doing pretty good on Cascaween and Tequila Ocho. And then Viva Mexico, I want to get a complete set, but I'm also waiting for the Madeira and the Tohono Blanco to come out. Hopefully soon. So just keep going back. If they've got a good selection, the only way you're going to get a good rapport with owners or just be lucky is just, I don't go every day. I don't go every week. Total Wine is maybe once a month. My local guys, probably after every payday, I just stop by because it's on the way home, and I see if he's got something new. I can go get from him. I can get Cascaween, the Blanco Square bottle, the olive oil bottle, Cascaween Tahona, and then he's got all the regular expressions of Tequila Ocho. And then he's got some Lost Lore. He's got Blanco, Repo, high proof Repo. So there's stuff that's there. They his Sete Legos. He started out just getting Blancos, and that's dude. You've got to get the aged stuff too, because more people. I don't say more people, but people who are getting introduced especially with the good stuff, they like the Repos, they like the Añejos, and then they find out the Blancos are really, really good too. So, you just got to keep going back to these people and keep going back and keep going back. I mean, there's going to be places you don't want to go back, but because they just all they carry is, Cuervo, Salsa, Hornitos, Tres Generones, and not even the good one. And then some of the other junk that they have. So it's it's what you're looking for, and more and more, some of these guys are coming around, and they're realizing that they sell more of the more traditionally made, smaller brands. They only maybe get half a case, but then that half a case disappears really quick, and so then they order another half a case, and then they order a whole case. So it's it is what it is. So like I said, you just keep your eyes open, and if you hear about somebody having this or having that, go check it out. And if it's a big chain store like Total Wine, they very well will have it in multiple stores. I was very lucky last night to find these 2 bottles of Fortaleza. I feel very fortunate for that. They will make a nice addition to my shelf, and they will be drank eventually, probably sooner than later. But, you just got to keep plugging away at it. You do. Let's see. So I don't really watch, like ads. Some states don't allow you to do that. Missouri does a little bit if it's a grocery store. I know Red X used to put out but they're also a grocery store. Sometimes if you sign up for, notifications through Facebook or, like Facebook, they'll send you ads. The liquor stores will, of what's on sale for that month. I know Bubbles does that with me because I signed up for the mailing list, and there's a couple other ones that send stuff with me. If you can't find it locally because it's not being carried, like for me, it's Wild Common, one of my favorites. But they really don't care. If it's still on the shelf, it's still on the shelf, and otherwise they're not getting any new in. They're not distributing anymore in Kansas and Missouri. They just, like I said, I've said in the previous video, they didn't do well. So know what you like, keep looking for it. Go online on Facebook forums, on pages, join them and ask questions. We got, one of our groups is all over the U.S., all things tequila, Kansas City Tequila Hunters. If we find something, we're letting people know where we found it. And that's what I did this morning. And so, keep your ears open, keep your eyes open, use the tools that you're now given, and just take an afternoon on a Saturday and go hit 4 or 5 liquor stores. And you're not looking for anything in particular. They ask, "Oh, I'm not looking for something to catch my eye." Though you probably know what's going to catch your eye. Could be a bottle of this. Could be a bottle of this. Could be a bottle of this. So, like I said, just, and prices. That's the other thing. When you do your investigative work, check your prices. Sometimes there's certain bottles that are sold at better prices in different areas of the country. California. And it's almost well worth it to buy multiple bottles of that kind and pay the shipping because you're still doing it less than what you're paying for it locally. Though I do want to support my local people. But when you have a bottle that's marked up 50% of where you can find it somewhere else, it's kind of hard. So I tend to shop around. Certain places, let's say like Sip Tequila, you spend over $299, the shipping's free. Which is really, because if you're going to spend $299, you're not buying one bottle usually. You're buying at least 3 or 4. And that weight of 4 bottles and free shipping, well, worth it. So, anyway, just my little FYI moment, and I'll probably post this sometime, probably Monday. So, what we what we do here is we drink tequila. Oh, the other thing is, and I'm not even. If you notice, the picture's a little different. I got a new camera and I got a new microphone. Hopefully, to improve most of those two items for my videos. So, first bottle I see open that I kind of want to take a drink of. Oh, what? It's Fortaleza? Well, it's still strength. I have multiple bottles of those. So, there's the squeak. Yeah. Nice legs coming down in tears. Little pearls coming down. I never get tired of this. And you probably heard me say it before, unless you're new. Went to Fortaleza, got to taste this tequila, the still strength, fresh out of the still. Still warm. So this brings me back to that trip and the enjoyment we had of doing that tour. So, salute, my friends. That's just, I'm in heaven. So, you all have a great weekend. This is a Friday night. Like I said, well, you won't see this till Monday. But be safe, be careful, enjoy your tequila. It's well worth the time you spend to find what you want. And sometimes you're going to break the piggy bank to do it. But just be careful. There's lots of great bottles that are under $50. Some that are under $30. That you can enjoy and share with friends and share with family. So just, use a little self-control. Like I got that. But I have a little bit. Yeah, sometimes. Though my coworkers don't think so. So again, it's always tequila time. We'll see you around. Bye-bye.